I just watched Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, actually, not really. I watched it about 2 days ago, but I'm now ready to talk about what I watched, and I have a lot of feelings.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Which are not entirely positive. No, don't get me wrong. I do think it's a good movie, and honestly speaking, I'm not afraid to criticize the movie. I don't really care if something's popular or not. If I don't think it was good or if I had problems with it, I'll say it. So I did have problems with Deadpool and Wolverine. First of all, I do want to start off by saying I thought it was a fun watch. It was an entertaining movie, and yeah, I'm not gonna say I was disappointed in the movie as a whole, as an entire package, but I was disappointed in some areas. And the first one I would say is the story. I thought the first Deadpool movie had a nice story, really nice story. I thought the second movie had a pretty decent story, but for the third one, honestly, it just didn't really feel like there was anything to grasp onto, a cause that I really cared about. It didn't feel like the characters along the way had, any sort of like respectable arcs or anything. Again, I'm not trying to be super analytical because that's not what I do. I'm not a film critic or anything. I just think about these things sometimes. But I will say the story I thought was disappointing. Like, if not for how entertaining the comedy and the action in the movie was. Yeah, the story itself I think was pretty bland, I'm not gonna lie. But then again, every movie's different, right? You're not going into every movie to get a super well-written story and everything. I guess it was passable. Now, another thing that I would say that I noticed while watching this film, and again, it wasn't just watching the film. As soon as I was seeing like the promotional material and the trailers, I kind of noticed this, but it was just more glaring while watching the movie on the big screen. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm picking at nothing here. I don't think this was a problem, but it was just something that I couldn't get off my mind for most of the movie. Wolverine looked clean shaven, and he looked too well groomed. That's what I mean, right? Like, looking at his facial hair, it looked like he had a line up on his facial hair. It looked like it was trimmed down. I don't know. It looked like Wolverine went to the barber, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Again, it's not an issue. It's a non-issue, but it's just something that I was like, why does he look so clean? Like, I like the Wolverine to look rough, to look gritty, especially if you look at him in like Logan, which he had the full beard. And I know his beard is not always that full, but it just looked a bit too trimmed and, too shaped up. And it kind of gave him this clean look, and he didn't look as vicious as he usually does. And again, maybe a little bit of that is Hugh Jackman getting a bit older. And maybe just like the whole lighting of the movie not having a dramatic visual tone. But I think most of Wolverine not looking as vicious to me was just with his facial hair. He just looked a bit too clean. But again, that's not a problem with the movie. It was just something funny that I just kept thinking about. When it comes to what I actually liked about the movie, I will say Deadpool and Wolverine had some of the best fights that I've seen in any movie in a long time. Oh my god, what the fuck were those stunt coordinators and stuntmen on? Like the choreography for the fights. Where do you even start from? I was watching this thing thinking like, these people are fucking geniuses, because I don't know how you even put stuff like this together. I gotta put my phone on mute. It's like so many fights. I don't even know where to start. I will say the intro for Deadpool and Wolverine was pretty sick, man. It was funny. It had the humor. It had the music in the background. It was fun with the dances and the action. I especially loved the part where Deadpool got the claws and he was like Wolverine in his heart, and he was like, oh man, it was just, obviously if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, I don't think I really have to say that. It's literally a video about Deadpool and Wolverine. But yeah, I thought that sequence was amazing. One that kind of like pretty much blew my mind was the one where Wolverine and Deadpool started fighting all the Deadpools from like the Deadpool Society or whatever, and it just kind of went into like this side-scrolling camera view where they were just slashing them, and they went into the bus, and then at the end they like burst out of the back of the bus. I was like, that was amazing. The last shot when they burst out of the bus looked really CGI-ish, but again, that was just amazing. The action in that movie was on point. Also, I will never get enough of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Just his what's the term I'm looking for? His body. I don't know. There's a term for this, but the way he moves his body and everything and his delivery, I really love Deadpool. He's so entertaining. And yeah, it was obvious. Yeah, it was a Deadpool movie, no doubt about that. No one is doubting that. You know, the tone and everything, it seemed like a Deadpool movie. I will say, I did think the villain was interesting. The twin sister to Charles Xavier. I didn't know Charles ever had a twin sister. I don't know if that's something from the comics. I'm not really a comic guy. I don't actually read the comics, so I don't know. But yeah, probably a character from the comics. She was like super overpowered. I was like, how the hell are they gonna take her down? I will say, I mean, not the most impressive villain I've seen in like a comic book movie, but I mean, I think she was nice. Yeah, she was good. Yeah, I also thought she kind of looked like that what's her name, the one that like monk or sorceress from Doctor Strange. But I cannot stress how nice it was seeing Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine again. It's like, Hugh Jackman is so amazing. Like literally this year, some months ago, I watched Logan for the third time, and it's crazy because each time I watch Logan, the movie becomes better than I remember. I remember the first time I watched Logan was way back in like 2017 or 18 when it was still kind of new, right? And I thought, oh, this is a great movie, you know, it's. And in 2022, when I actually started getting into movies properly, I decided to watch Logan again. And I was like, wait, this is even better than I thought. And this year I watched it for the third time, and I was like, this is an amazing movie. Like literally, I think Logan is probably my top 3 comic book movies of all time. I cried watching Logan the third time, which, I mean, I easily cry when watching things. I like to be moved by what I'm watching, so it doesn't take too much for me to cry. But it's like, it was really nice seeing Hugh Jackman again as the Wolverine. I don't know if he's gonna come back again. Never say never, because you never know. I mean, we just got Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU, so yeah, I don't know if he's gonna come back again. But that was nice. I will say the cameos were a nice touch, you know, seeing Blade, seeing Gambit, seeing I forgot the names, the X-23, the one played by, you know, the female Wolverine. Yeah, just so it was nice. But I will say the cameo characters, you know, I don't know, it felt like I didn't really care about them too much. It was just like, oh, they were just there for the cameo, but didn't really feel like they pushed the story along or anything. And again, that's what I'm saying about the story of the movie. I thought the story was pretty meh, but the comedy, the humor and the action were enough to carry the movie to the point where I thought it was entertaining. It was a good watch. It's a fun movie, you know. I will say I absolutely found Dogpool disgusting. I'm sorry, that thing looks atrocious. I don't want to see that thing. I don't want to see that thing licking anyone's mouth. I'm not a fan of Dogpool. I'm sorry. Dogpool's ugly. And I will say, I always appreciate the Deadpool movies for how much they make Deadpool leave his mask on. It's like, I just want to see him with the mask on. That's Deadpool, you know. I don't want to have to see Wade Wilson all the time. I want to see Deadpool with the mask. But yeah. Also, I just want to add, can we just appreciate Ryan Reynolds? Like, can we just take a moment to appreciate Ryan Reynolds? He is such a funny, charming guy. Like, he's so perfect for Deadpool. And it's like, I don't know, it's just his voice, his line delivery, his pacing. He just knows how to say things in the funniest, most absurd ways. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, you know? All in all, I will say I am, you know, pretty relieved at the success of Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know why I said relieved, because I don't think I was ever worried about the financial performance of the movie, but you know, I mean, it's pretty guaranteed the movie's gonna hit over $1 billion, right? So it's a pretty good thing. You know, I like the MCU. I want to see the MCU do better. So, you know, it's a good thing that, you know, this is a good start for reform. Also, in regards to, you know, Kang being taken out of the MCU's plans and Doom being thrust in that position instead, I think it's really interesting, because I'm gonna say I would have loved to see, the Kang Dynasty. I would have loved to see what they did with that character. But then again, I'm also like super pumped to see Doctor Doom. So it's like, okay, we'll see where it goes. I kind of have mixed feelings about seeing RDJ come back to the MCU, just because he already died as Tony Stark, and in a way I kind of like want to leave that where it was. But I mean, he's fucking Robert Downey Jr., so I know he's gonna do a great job. So at the end of the day, I just want to see the movie. I'm pretty excited for where the MCU is headed. I definitely do want to see more of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Hopefully this is not the last Deadpool movie that we get, at least not the last Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie that we get. So yeah, I will say at the end of the day, I thought it was a good movie, but it had its downsides, mostly with the story. But I thought it was a fun watch, and yeah, I just yap and talk about how I feel about certain things I'm interested in. So bye.